Hi guys, this is Leela. Welcome to my channel Leela Web Dev. So we are learning about the Unix domain socket, right? How we can communicate through the different processes which are in the same OS or in the same system or in the same computer. So let's try to see the Node.js example using the net module, how we can do the inter-process communication. So we will get hands-on. We will create a simple Node.js application where two processes communicate using a Unix domain concept with the net module. Now we will have a server that listens on a socket and a client that connects to it, exchange the messages. Let's try to create. Here I am having an IPC. So here I will creating a new file. One is server.js, so which sends the messages, and here one is the client.js, which sends and receives the messages. That's it. So now here the client means it can be anything. Server means it can be anything. So it can be Node.js or C program or anything, or client also it can be Node.js, C program or anything. So both are communicating to each other, but here I am trying to create both of them with the Node.js. So let's try to create the server.js file. So we know that we need for server.js file, we need to have the require of net module. So this one we can also create the TCP module, or otherwise we can also create an IPC for the inter-process communication. So now what can I do here? So we'll have a socket path, constant socket path is equal to, so here the socket path will be something around temp. In the temp I will try to create, and you can have anything, any file, so you can have in the temp or anything. So why I am creating in the temp folder means every user can able to have an access for this one. If you try to create in your home or user thing, so might be the file permissions maybe will be missing. So that's why /temp/myapp.socket file. So now if let's try to check it whether the file is existing or not. So this is the normal way, efficient way how we to check the file whether if it is already existing means, so just we'll try to remove it, so that the socket removing existing socket file if it exists. So that is the thing. So here fs.exists, so you can have a sync here, and the program and the file is nothing but socket path. If the file is existing, then what you will try to do, so I will try to remove that one. So fs.unlink means removing that one, sync the socket path. That's it. So this is common thing. So now we need to create the server. So here I will be creating constant server is equal to net.createServer. Okay, so we have created the server. So where we can, so now you need to listen to the server dot listen. So normally you will try to give the path and the local host and all those things, right? So here you can directly give the socket path. That's it. And here you can able to see console.log server is listening on. You can also give it on socket path, dollar of socket path. That's it. Now let's try to create the server for this one. So here I will be running the node server.js file. So if I try, server is listening on this one socket path. So now we are able to successfully establish the connection. So now let's try to create the client.js file, or otherwise we can also create it. So now here, so whenever anybody connects to the server, so now here whenever a client connects to the server, so this connection event will be filed. So connection is established. So now you will be able to see that this one will be filed, and you will be able to get a duplex stream that is nothing but a socket which is of type duplex stream. So you will be able to see net.socket, so which is of type duplex stream. So now here you will be having, so you can write something like console.log client connected. You can write it like this, client is connected, and you can write to the, you can send it to the client something like socket.write hello from server. So you can write it as hello from server. So now you are sending the data to the client, hello from server. So now when the client is receiving the data, when the client is sending the data, so you can receive it using the data, and here you will be getting the chunk value, that is nothing but the data. Also you can keep it. Now here what I can do, so here I can do console.log I can do received the data, and here you can use use a template literal also not. So here received the $data.string. If you want, you can use $data.string. That's it. So now here you can send it again back to the server. So here if you want to again back to the client means socket.write. Here you can write echo anything, echo dollar of data. So you are sending it. So when the socket is ended, so that means when the client is disconnected, so you can have a connection in such a way that, so here you will be able to write console.log client disconnected. Okay, disconnected. That's it. So now this is simple server connection. So now here what we have did it, let's try to understand clear one by one. So we have imported the net module and fs module, and we have defined the socket path which where the server will listen to that file, and we have removed any socket file to avoid the conflicts. Now the server listens for the connection, sends a greeting to the client, echoes back any data it receives, and logs when client connects or disconnect. That's it. So this is a simple thing which we have did it. Now let's try to create the client.js file. So now let's try to, so here also we will be having constant net is equal to require of net, so net module, and here also you can have the socket path, the same socket path, so you should listen to the same socket path only. Now here I will be having this socket path. So now we have the socket path. So now we are having the socket path, and now let's try to create the connection. For creating the connection, so here constant client is equal to net dot create connection. So now you will be creating the connection, and here you need to mention the socket path, and when the connection is established, so here you can send something like so you can write it console.log connected to server, and here you can send the messages. So client.write, okay. So now here you can write hello from client. So here you are sending the message. That's it. So now you are able to send it. So now when you are trying to receive the data, okay, whenever you are receiving the data means, so then what you can do, here you can write a code in such a way that client.onOff data. So whenever you are receiving the data from the server, the received dollar data you are doing. So whenever you are, whenever the server is disconnected, so you will get an end message. So you can say something like client.end disconnected from the server. So that's it. So now what is the thing? So let's try to see. The client connects to the same socket path as the server. Once connected, it sends a message to the server. It listens for the data from the server and logs it, and also logs when the connection ends. So now let's open the two terminals in the Windows. First we will run the node server.js file. In other tab we will run the node client.js file, and we will see how it will be able to respond it. So here these are the two things which I am trying to run it. So here let's try to create off, and here I will run the node server.js file. So now server is listening on the port, okay, and here also I will try to clear it off, and here I will run the node client.js file. Let's try to see, and here connected to the server, received hello from server. So server has sent you the message, and we are again receiving that one. So here the server also received hello from client. So this is how we will be making the thing. If you are on Windows, replace the socket path with the named pipe like pipe/my app, something like that. The rest of the code works the same only. So that's it guys about this Unix socket connection. Okay, hope you have a clear understanding about this one. So that means today we have learned that Unix domain sockets are fast, secure way for process to communicate on the same machine using the file system. IPC Node.js lets process exchange the data either through sockets or the child process module. We saw why IPC is better than TCP ports and localhost for local communication because of the speed, security, and simplicity. And we have also developed a cool example using the net module also to see it in action. That's it guys about this one. If you found this helpful, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know in the comments so about any doubts or anything. So that's it guys about this one. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.